Welcome to all. Sit closer, listen to a real story, and let your ears lead your learning. Today is not about being flawless. Today is about being free. Perfection looks clean. Perfection sounds smart. But perfection often hides a quiet fear. A fear of looking stupid. A fear of being judged. A fear of losing self-respect. This fear becomes a cage. And the cage has a soft bed. It has warm blankets called planning and research. It has sweet songs called One More Day. People inside this cage do not feel pain at first. They feel safe. They feel smart. They feel responsible. But time does not stop for responsible people. Time moves like a river. And if you do not swim, it still carries you away. Here is the deep truth in simple words. A person does not wait for the perfect moment. A person creates the moment by moving. Your future does not grow in your head. It grows in your actions. When you wait for perfect conditions, you give control to chance. You let weather decide your life. You let mood decide your work. You let fear decide your voice. And fear is never a good leader. Fear loves delays. Fear loves later. Fear says, "Not now. You might fail." But the cost of waiting is hidden. It does not hit you like a punch. It hits you like rust. It eats your courage quietly. Let me tell you a real feeling story. It is fictional, but it is true in spirit. It happened in a coastal city where the wind smells of salt. The main hero is named Soren Vale. It is not a common name. Soren worked as a night dispatcher at a small port. He spoke to ship crews on the radio. He wrote numbers in a logbook. He watched cranes move like slow animals in fog. Soren had a dream. He wanted to open a small repair shop for bikes and scooters. He loved tools. He loved the sound of a clean chain. He loved the honest work of fixing something broken. He also wanted to learn English well. He thought English could open doors. He imagined speaking with travelers. He imagined reading manuals without fear. He imagined being a better person. But Soren waited. He waited for money. He waited for confidence. He waited for a perfect plan. He waited so long that waiting became his habit. Soren had a friend named Mireia Solis. Mireia was warm and sharp. She worked at a bakery near the port. She woke up before sunrise. She sold bread that smelled like home. She was not rich. She was not lucky. But she had one strong skill. She moved first. She learned later. She did not wait for the perfect mood. She acted even when she felt unsure. Mireia told Soren the same sentence many times. She said, "You do not need the perfect day. You need a brave hour." Soren smiled, but he did not move. He said, "I will start when I have better tools." He said, "I will start when my English is good." He said, "I will start when I feel ready." Mireia nodded, but her eyes looked tired. She knew this pattern. Many people speak about dreams. Few people pay the price of action. Then a new man came to the port. His name was Brack Dern. Even the name felt rough. Brack owned a chain of repair shops in the city. He spoke fast. He smiled without warmth. He saw Soren fixing a small scooter for a co-worker. Brack watched the clean work. He watched the steady hands. Then he offered Soren a job. The pay was fine. The hours were long. Brack said, "Work for me. Learn my system. Later, you can do your own thing." Soren felt relief. Relief is a sweet drug. Relief says, "Now you do not have to risk." Soren accepted. He told himself it was smart. He told himself it was a step. He told himself it was temporary. But temporary can become a life. At Brack's shop, Soren did not build his dream. He built Brack's dream. He fixed bikes all day. He followed rules that made no sense. Brack controlled everything. Brack controlled prices. Brack controlled brakes. Brack controlled how people spoke to customers. If Soren suggested a small change, Brack laughed. He said, "Do not act like you know better." Soren felt inner confusion. Part of him wanted to fight. Part of him wanted to hide. And hiding became his normal. He stopped talking about his own shop. He said, "Maybe next year." He said, "The market is not good." He said, "I must prepare more." He did not see the cage because the cage paid him on Fridays. One evening, Soren walked home after a late shift. Rain hit the street. The lamps made yellow circles on the ground. He passed a small empty garage for rent. The sign was old. The paint was peeling. But the place had potential. He stopped and looked through the window. He imagined his name on the wall. He imagined a small desk. He imagined a shelf with tools. He imagined a corner with English books. His heart beat faster. Then his mind attacked him. His mind said, "You are not ready." His mind said, "You might fail." His mind said, "People will laugh." He walked away. He chose the known pain over the unknown chance. This is what perfection does. Perfection makes safety feel like wisdom. A week later, Mireia invited Soren to a small gathering. It was at her cousin's home. There were simple snacks. There was tea. There was laughter. A traveler from Ireland was there. His name was Cormac. He spoke clear English. Mireia told Soren, "Speak with him. Practice." Soren froze. He knew words, but his tongue felt heavy. He feared mistakes. He feared sounding childish. He feared being seen. Cormac smiled kindly and asked, "How is work?" Soren answered with short phrases. He made errors. He said, "I work in repair." He said, "I like fixed motors." He wanted to disappear. Then something strange happened. Cormac did not laugh. He listened. He asked more questions. He spoke slowly. Mireia gave Soren a gentle look, like a quiet shield. Soren felt a small opening inside his chest. He felt hope. He felt that mistakes did not kill him. But when he returned home, the cage closed again. The next day he told himself, "I must study more before I speak again." He chose perfection again. He chose delay again. Months passed. Brack grew more controlling. Brack's shop started using cheaper parts. Customers complained. Brack blamed workers. One day, a customer shouted at Soren. The customer said, "You fixed it wrong." Soren knew it was not his fault. The part was cheap. Brack forced it. Soren looked at Brack, waiting for support. Brack did not help. Brack said, "Soren made the choice." That sentence hit Soren like cold water. He felt anger, then shame, then emptiness. He realized something. Waiting did not protect him. Waiting only placed him under someone else's control. He traded his dream for a false safety. He was controlled by feelings. He was not free. That night Soren could not sleep. He heard rain on the window. He heard cars far away. His mind replayed the day again and again. This is not a strong life, he thought. This is a borrowed life. Then he remembered Mireille's sentence. You do not need the perfect day. You need a brave hour. He sat up. He turned on a small lamp. He took paper. He wrote 2 lines. What do I want? What do I fear? Under want he wrote, my own shop, better English, a life I respect. Under fear he wrote, mistakes, shame, losing money. He stared at the word shame. He saw it clearly. Shame was the lock on the cage. Next morning, Soren did one small thing. Not a big leap. A small step. He walked to the empty garage again. He called the number on the sign. His hand shook. His voice was not steady. But he called. The owner answered. They talked for 5 minutes. The rent was lower than Soren expected. Soren felt his mind try to escape. His mind said, wait, do more math. His mind said, study business first. But Soren did not obey. He asked to see the place inside. If you ask for a viewing, you will break the spell of delay. If you step inside the room, you will see reality, not fear. Soren met the owner at noon. The place smelled of dust and old oil. The floor was cracked. The lights flickered. But Soren smiled. This place was not perfect. That was good. A perfect place costs too much. An imperfect place invites courage. Soren did not sign the contract that day. But he set a date. He said, I will decide by Friday. This was new. Before, he had no dates. He had only someday. Someday is a lie that sounds polite. Friday is real. Friday has teeth. Then Soren did another small thing. He told Mireille the truth. He said, I am scared. He said, I keep waiting. Mireille nodded. She did not shame him. She said, good. Now you can move. She gave him a small notebook. On the cover, she wrote one word, grit. This is a new word for today. Grit means strong courage for a long time. Grit is not loud. Grit is quiet and stubborn. Example: if you have grit, you will practice even on bad days. Soren touched the notebook like it was a key. Now, the real conflict arrived. Brack noticed that Soren looked different. Soren asked for one free evening per week. He wanted time to prepare his shop. Brack smiled that cold smile. Brack said, You are getting ideas. Soren said, I need time. Brack leaned close and spoke low. He said, If you leave, you will fail. He said, You are not the type. He said, People like you need a boss. These words were control, not truth. Control often wears the mask of advice. Brack wanted Soren small. Small workers are easy. Soren felt that old inner confusion. Fight or hide? Then he remembered grit. He remembered grit again. He said, "I will decide my own life." His voice surprised him. Brack's eyes narrowed. Brack said, "Then do not come back." Soren's stomach turned. Fear rose fast. But something stronger rose too. Self-respect, not pride. Self-respect. The calm strength that says, "I can stand alone." Soren took off his apron. He placed it on the bench. He walked out. Outside, the air felt sharp and clean. His hands were shaking. His future felt like fog. But he was outside the cage. He walked to the beach. Waves hit the stones. He sat and watched. He thought, "I might fail." Then he added, "But I will fail on my own path." That sentence changed him. Failure on your path is not shame. It is training. It is the mud that teaches you. Soren used his savings to rent the garage. He bought used tools. He cleaned the floor. He painted the wall himself. He made a small sign. It was not perfect. Letters were uneven. But it was real. The first week was hard. Few customers came. Soren felt panic. He wanted to run back to Brack. He wanted the old cage again. That is normal. The cage feels safe when fear rises. But Soren opened Mireille's notebook. On the first page she wrote one more word, unwavering. This is the second new word today. Unwavering means you do not move away from your choice. You stay steady. Example: if you are unwavering, you will keep going when doubt talks. Soren read it twice. He repeated it in his head. Unwavering. Unwavering. He liked the sound. It felt like a steel bar inside his chest. Then something small happened. A boy came in with a broken bike. The boy's name was Tavin. Tavin looked embarrassed. He said, "I fell." Soren smiled. He said, "Falling is normal." He fixed the chain. He showed the boy one simple rule. If you push too hard, the chain slips. The boy listened. He smiled. He paid with coins. When the boy left, Soren felt a warm calm. This is what progress feels like, not fireworks. Just calm. Next day a woman came with a scooter. Then a traveler came. The traveler spoke English. Soren felt fear again, but he did not run. He used simple English. He said, "Hello, I can help." He made mistakes. He corrected himself. The traveler understood. The traveler even said, "Your English is good." Soren wanted to laugh. It was not good. It was brave. But brave looks like good to kind people. Now listen carefully. Here is the life lesson. Waiting for perfection does not keep you safe. It keeps you small. It destroys your future because it steals your days. It turns weeks into years. It turns dreams into stories you tell others. The cage of perfection is built from 2 bricks. Fear of mistakes. Fear of judgment. If you remove one brick, the cage cracks. If you remove both, the cage falls. So here's the practical technique you can use today. It is called 1 brave hour. Choose one thing you avoid, one call, one message, one page of study, one workout. Set a timer for 60 minutes. Promise yourself only this. You will do it badly, but truly. You will not aim for perfect. You will aim for done. If fear speaks, you will answer with action. If you finish the hour, you will stop and write one line. What did I learn? This makes mistakes useful. This builds grit. This makes you unwavering. If you repeat one brave hour for 7 days, you will feel different. If you repeat it for 30 days, other people will notice. You will become the type of person who moves. You will become a better person, not a perfect person. Now let me ask you, what is your cage made of? Is it fear of looking stupid? Is it fear of losing money? Is it fear of hearing no? And what is one brave hour you can do today? Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Because your future is not waiting in the sky. Your future is waiting in your next action. Soren kept his shop for 2 years. It grew slowly. He did not become rich fast, but he became solid inside. He spoke English with customers. He learned new words each week. He made friends. He slept better. He walked with a quiet power. One day Brack passed by the garage. Brack looked at the sign. The letters were still uneven. Soren was fixing a bike with calm hands. Brack smirked and said, "So, you survived." Soren looked up and said, "I did more than survive." He did not shout. He did not prove anything. He just returned to his work. That is self-respect in action. Not loud, not shiny, unwavering. If this story helped your English and your life, then stay close to this fire. Subscribe now. Each week brings a new lesson and a stronger voice inside you. Do not live in the cage. Step out today, and if fear knocks, smile like a king and move anyway.